Hey everyone, sorry I didn't post a video last week. I do enjoy making videos for this channel, but I am first and foremost a college student and I had a lot of homework to do, so had to put that first. But I'm back now, even though my hair looks like utter garbage, here to make a video for you, so I hope you enjoy.
Okay, so here we are, making a tier list for the Percy Jackson and Heroes of Olympus characters. This is only the characters as they appear in Percy Jackson and Heroes of Olympus, because I have not read Trials of Apollo yet. I'm currently actually doing a reread of Percy Jackson and Heroes of Olympus, and then, like, all of the Riordanverse series, so I'm going to get to Trials of Apollo, but I haven't read it yet. I don't really know the characterizations as I progress there, except for like a few things I've seen via memes on Instagram. So it's just going to be based on those first two series, and it's only characters that appeared in those first two series. So here are my tiers. First tier is Would Die For, which is just my absolute favorite characters, who I really, really love. Love is characters who I still obviously love. And appreciate them as characters who I like. Not quite at the level, but I like them, like their stories, characters. I think they're great. Fine is characters who I like don't have any problem with. They're good people. I respect them. I just personally never really connected with their characters. Trash is characters who are trash. And Octavian is a special tier just for one specific character. Yeah, so alright. Starting off, we have Grover. I'm gonna put Grover in appreciate. I really would have put him only in like fine after my first read, but based on the reread, I've grown to appreciate him more. I still like don't really like have a huge connection with him, but he's a cool guy. He's a really loyal friend, and he's brave, and he does good things. So I appreciate that about him, and I really like that he has like insecurities and that they explore that. So yeah. Next up, we have Charles Beckendorf, who I love. Who doesn't love Beckendorf? He's just the greatest. His death, completely tragic, so horrible. But he's just so great. Um, yeah, I mean, what else to say really? Beckendorf is just awesome, and everybody loves him both in the series and outside of it. Next up, we have Octavian. Guess where he's going? That's right, he's going in Octavian. What is there to say, really? He's the worst. He is the only character whose death I actively rooted for. So, yeah, that's that. He kills pillow pets. Then we have my boy Nico D'angelo. I love Nico. I love him the most. He's so sweet and kind and pure. And, like, in the beginning, he's just a sweet, innocent little kid, and then, obviously, like, his whole arc is just, like, really, really sad. But, like, even when he gets like all sort of dark and brooding, he's still just really sweet deep down, and I just love Nico. After Nico, we have Zoe Nightshade, another character who I love. I don't know if I would have said that the first time around reading it, because she like kind of grated on my nerves, especially on the second read through. She's just really amazing, and even though she has like this really like horrible kind of tragic backstory, she doesn't let it make her into a bad person. She really is just like good, and even if she's mistrustful of men, which is understandable given her story, she still like is helpful and kind and just does good for the world and stands up to her father. She's just great. I love her. Next up we have Ethan Nakamura. Ethan Nakamura is obviously a complicated character. I'm gonna say I appreciate him. Not necessarily the person, but I really appreciate his arc. I mean, yes, he helped raise Kronos, which obviously is bad, but in the end, he did choose the right thing, and he died for choosing the right thing. So for that, I appreciate him and his arc. I don't know if he should be above Grover, though. I'll put him there, but I did appreciate what he did for the story. Next up, we have Calypso. I appreciate her. I really thought her chapter in Battle of the Labyrinth was, like, really impactful on me. Like, even though it had been, like, several years since I read it, I, like, really remembered that. And on my reread, I was really surprised it was only one chapter, because I remembered it being longer, because it made such an impact on me. And, like, she was just really sweet, and that whole chapter was really important for Percy, obviously, but just the way she, like, treated him and talked to him, and she was just a great person. And her, like, line to Percy about, like, do you support the gods because they're good or just because they're your family was, like, a really important, like, perspective kind of line. She's great. And then in Heroes of Olympus, she was fine. Her and Leo were, I guess, fine. Like, I didn't really, I mean, I want Leo to be happy. We'll get to that later, but yeah, so that was fine, but I really especially liked her originally in Percy Jackson. And we have Will. Will, I appreciate Will. So I haven't read Trials of Apollo. I know he's more prominent there. In the original 2 series, like, he's a nice guy. He's, like, really, you can see in the Battle of Manhattan that he's sweet and, like, doesn't want to steal even in an emergency, and he's, like, a nice guy, and, he's just mostly, I just know he's a nice guy, but he makes Nico happy, and if he makes Nico happy, he makes me happy, so, yeah, I appreciate Will a lot. Next up, we have Bianca D'Angelo. I appreciate Bianca. She's great. I didn't really like the way she just joined the Hunters without talking to Nico first. I felt like that wasn't a great older sisterly move, and as an older sister myself, I was like, really? But, I mean, I get that she had a lot of pressure and responsibility, and that was hard for her. And overall, you know, she was great. Her death was the first major character death in the series, and that's, like, really just a gut punch when that happens, and, yeah, I mean, I do appreciate her, even if I didn't quite like that choice of hers. Jason Grace. He's fine. He's a good guy and all. I never really connected with him in any way that was, like, super meaningful. Especially, like, in the first book, he doesn't know who he is for a lot of it, so it's hard to, like, really get to know him or like him. I never really bought his romance with Piper, and I did like his friendship with Leo. That was probably, like, the thing about him, like, in The Lost Hero, how they were really, like, developing as friends. That was really good. And he was fine. I just, like, never really connected to him. The Stoll brothers, also fine. Like, they're just kind of background characters. They're funny. I enjoy them, but they don't really, like, do anything for me. Talia, I appreciate Talia. It's a little complicated because I didn't really like in the Titan's Curse when she was at odds with Percy a lot. I mean, Percy was also to blame for that a little bit, but I felt like she was at times antagonistic for no real reason. But overall, I mean, like, she had reasons to be the way she was, and she was a good person, and, you know, she was cool. She joined the Hunters, and that was really cool, and she became, like, I felt like I liked her better after she joined the Hunters. Not that I didn't like her before, but yeah. But I do appreciate her. She's cool. I like her. Yeah. Next up, we have Tyson. Oh, Tyson. I love Tyson. This is definitely a huge change from the first time I read it, when I didn't really connect to Tyson at all. But on this read-through, I just love him so much. He's so sweet, this gentle giant. He's just really a great guy. Such an adorable little brother to Percy. Yeah, I just love him. He's just so pure and wholesome. I don't know if I might like Nico more, just because Nico's got more, like, depth to him as a character. Yeah, but Tyson, I really love Tyson. Then we have Selena Beauregard. This is another complicated one. I'm gonna put Selena here. It's complicated because, obviously, she was manipulated by Luke into being the spy, and she thought Charlie would be safe. And then when she realized her mistake, she did eventually come and, like, sacrifice her life to make that right, and I appreciate that. But she also continued to spy, like, after Beckendorf died, right up through the Battle of Manhattan, and I'd forgotten that. When I was rereading it, I was surprised she was still spying at that point. That was, well, I didn't like that, but that she was being manipulated, and she did come through in the end, so I appreciate her for that. Next up we have Reina, who, I love her. I don't remember, like, it's been a while, like, I'm still on the Lost Hero in my reread of Heroes of Olympus, so I don't remember, like, every detail of her character, but I remember that I loved her, so, yeah, she's great. Next we have Luke Castellin, I don't know. Anyway, he's trash. He is a sympathetic villain, don't get me wrong. I mean, his, like, whole thing with the backstory is sympathetic, and his death scene is emotional, and his last wording to Percy to make sure it doesn't happen again, like, that, I like all that, and that works for me. But the way he manipulated Annabeth, that's trash. That's just not okay. Like, I understand his cause, and he wasn't wrong. Gods were horrible parents. but that's not an excuse to treat people the way he did, and to treat Annabeth especially, because he knew how she felt about him, and he knew that he could basically make her do anything, and manipulation is not okay. Even though I can sympathize with him, it does not excuse who did, so overall, still trash. Rachel Elizabeth Dare. I appreciate Rachel. She's really cool. I never shipped her with Percy. I know a lot of people did, and like even people who shipped Percabeth still like thought Rachel would have been good for Percy. I mean, I wouldn't have I didn't hate her, and I thought they were good friends, but I never shipped it. I never saw that, but you know, she's more than just her crush on Percy. And as an Oracle, she's really cool and she's really fun and stuff like that. So yeah. Next up we have Coach Hedge. I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion or not, but I really like Coach Hedge. He's just really fun. Obviously, he's really aggressive, but and I just really enjoy him always being I'm gonna kill all the monsters, and he's really protective of the seven. I just think it's really fun. And Coach Hedge and Melly for life, you know. Then we have Frank. Yeah, I think Frank is fine. He's another one who he's a really sweet guy. I just never felt a connection to him personally. I don't really know what it was. I guess it was something I like him. I actually wanted him to work. I like things to be good for him and all. I just didn't really feel a personal connection. Also, Frank and Hazel as a couple, a little weird because Hazel was 13 and Frank was 16. They were written it was cute, but it was still the age gap not super great. So that part of it also just kind of makes it But yeah, okay. Next up we have Percy Jackson himself, who there is one place I can put Percy, and it is up here in Would Die For, because I love Percy Jackson. He is just so great. He is sassy and funny, and he doesn't let anyone push him around, and he's just the nicest guy, and he loves his mom, and he loves his girlfriend, and even though he's insanely OP and could completely wipe out anyone if he wanted to, he's just would because he's just at least never would to anyone good, because he's just such a great friend, but also a terrifying enemy. He's just all around a great guy. If every man in the world could be more like Percy Jackson, the world would be a better place. Love my guy. Okay, so next we have Hazel Levesque. I'm going to put her here. No, not here. I really love Hazel. I love how, especially how her powers are different from Nico's, and seeing all that stuff, and the different children of the underworld, and she's just a really great character. She's really sweet and nice, and yeah, I love Hazel. Next up we have Leo. Boy, Leo Valdez. He is also going up here. I love Leo. He's so great. He's my favorite of the new characters that we meet in Heroes of Olympus. He's just so great. He's sassy and he's fun, and he's also way more empathetic than he gets credit for. He's actually a pretty empathetic guy, and yeah, Leo. You go, Leo. He's just great. I love him. Next up's Piper. So I have complicated feelings about Piper. I'm gonna put her here. So the thing is, Piper's arc, especially in the Lost Hero, she's got this whole not like other girls thing, and this whole I'm not like other Aphrodite girls. I don't wear makeup. I don't wear dresses. I don't even own a dress. And I don't really. I mean, if you saw the video I did on femininity, I don't like character archetypes that make it out being a feminine woman is a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with Piper not wearing makeup. I don't wear makeup. That's fine. You don't have to be super feminine, but the way she looks down on girls who are feminine, and how it's sort of touted as some sort of good thing about her that she's not feminine, is kind of icky, and that kind of messes with her character for me. I feel there's a lot of internalized misogyny with Piper's character, and that's not great. But she's, a cool character. She's smart, and she's sweet and clever, and she holds her own, and she does good stuff later on, and just that stuff kind of complicates her character for me, so I can't really put her higher than she is, because that kind of weighs on her character, and I didn't really appreciate that. But yeah, still cool. Alright, now we have Annabeth Chase, who is right up here with her boyfriend. The two of them, my favorite characters, my favorite couple, Percy and Annabeth, the ideal of romance. I mean, I know a couple people who don't ship them, and I'm just how can you not ship the greatest couple to ever grace the pages of literature. That might be a bit of an exaggeration. Maybe not. They're just so perfect. That's obviously not the only reason I like Annabeth. I'm just any excuse to gush about Percy Jackson I have to take. But Annabeth is great on her own. She's really clever. She's really smart. But like, what I really like about her is she's not just some sort of like archetype of like a smart girl. Like, she has really like deep-seated insecurities that drive a lot of what she does, and that makes her a really complex character. And like, you can see her motivation for the things she does, and like why she feels the need to prove herself. And like her song in the musical, really great. I know this is about the book characters, but the musical really got to the heart of the book characters, unlike some movies that don't exist, which you can see my videos on those. But yeah, Annabeth just great. Percy and Annabeth both great. And then we have Juniper. She's fine. I mean, I like that Grover likes her, and that's fine and all, but like, she doesn't have much of a developed personality. She's just kind of there. She's cool. And lastly is Kyron. I'm putting him there. He's, yeah, I mean, he's fine. I don't like the way he withholds information, so that's not cool, but I appreciate him as a mentor to the, characters, especially, like, his relationship with Percy is sweet, and his relationship with Annabeth, where he's kind of like a father to her. And that's sweet. I just, don't withhold so much information, Kyron. I know why he does it, kind of, but it's like, you don't have to listen to the gods all the time. They're not the greatest. I noticed that this tier list, like, which I didn't make myself, I found it didn't have any of the gods in it. For the record, they're all trash. Well, not quite, but most of them. Yeah, but yeah, so that is my final tier list of these characters. Once I finish my reread and go through the whole series, I might make an updated version. But this is it for now, and yeah, let me know your thoughts down below.
Alright, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, you know the drill. And I will see you next week with my next video. Bye!